Hello again, this is Gerrit from Sports Chaplaincy UK and today I'd like to tell you the incredible story of a dog called Hachiku. And it's a true story and I know that not everyone is a dog lover, but perhaps the story may just melt your heart. In 1925, Hachiku was a Japanese breeder dog that looked a little bit like a husky. And in 1925, he was only a tiny little puppy when he was left to fend all for himself on the streets of a town called Shibuya, about half an hour's train ride from Tokyo City. And a professor who used to work at the university in Tokyo, who lives in Shibuya, came across this little puppy, half starved on the frozen sidewalk, and he took him in. And he raised Hachiku, and Hachiku grew into a fine dog. And every morning, as the professor said goodbye to Hachiku, he would walk over to the station to get the train into Tokyo University. And then one afternoon, as the professor arrived back from work, he stepped off the train, and on the platform there was a dog. It was Hachiku. Hachiku had come to meet him at the train station, and they walked home together, and this became a bit of a routine between them. Every afternoon, Hachiku would be there waiting, and he and his beloved professor would walk home side by side. But then one day, the professor suffered a massive brain hemorrhage while in work, and he died. And that afternoon, Hachiku was waiting for the professor, but he, of course, didn't turn up. And the day after that, Hachiku returned, and the day after that, and again the day after that, and every day Hachiku would be there. And some of the station workers tried to shoo him away, but Hachiku persevered. Rain, wind, snow, Hachiku would be there, waiting. He waited on that platform for 9 years. Some people started to give him little treats. A newspaper article was written about this dog. He became a bit of a national celebrity in Japan. And one of the entrances is now called the Hachiku entrance at Shibuya Station. When he died, his paw prints were laid in bronze at the spot where he used to wait for the professor. And a Hollywood movie starring Richard Gere was made about this dog. A bronze statue was erected outside the station in honor of his perseverance, in honor of his faithfulness. Last week I shared with you that love is much more than a feeling. It does things. Love perseveres. It is faithful. And in this time of this pandemic, of course, a lot of people are heartbroken. They are mourning the loss of loved ones, and our hearts go out to them as well. But for many of us, our relationships have been pushed to the limit somewhat. And I know that it's not always possible, even desirable, to keep every relationship going. But if there's a glimmer of hope, may I encourage you to keep going, to persevere. To persevere in the small things, biting our tongue when we want to snap back, or perhaps thinking about considering a response that will disarm a situation or an argument, thinking about what we are going to say because it often hurts others. Being quick to say sorry, even if we weren't in the wrong. The good book says, the tongue of the wicked pierce like swords, but the words of the wise brings healing. And we're in the middle of this thing. I understand that, but this thing too shall pass, and we will return to perhaps a new normal. But that will be an opportunity for us to demonstrate our love by being faithful, by persevering, turning up for the hockey match or the school play, and making time for our loved ones and our husbands and wives and partners, just being there for those we love. Look, I know that sometimes work demands much of us. There's a deadline or a project that needs to be completed, and sometimes for some, work takes us away from home for long periods, and I understand that. But if possible, we need to be there for those we love, waiting, ready to walk them home every day. We need to persevere, because that is what love does. So until next time, let's take it easy on ourselves, let's be kind to one another, and cut each other some slack. God bless.